I'm inside the new version of AddressTwo to show you the basics for managing contacts, your tasks, and activities. The daily activities that almost every salesperson or marketer would need to do. Let's start by adding a new contact. I'm going to click the plus button next to the search box in the menu bar. It's going to ask for some basic information. A company name, a contact, and that contact's contact information. When I click continue, it creates not only an account being the record of the company, but also the first contact for that company. Remember, inside AddressTwo, it's an account-centric system. So we always have accounts, and we can have multiple contacts related to that one account. For example, if I also know that Troy Hannah works for AddressTwo, I can add Troy. Now I have two contacts at one account. Troy has a different email address, of course, so I'll enter that data. There's no save buttons to click, nothing to refresh the screen. Whenever I enter data into forms like this, they're automatically saved. As I type in the phone number, as soon as I leave the field, the wait window comes up for just a moment, and the data is saved in the database. Anytime I want to add a new piece of data, I look for the plus button in the upper right-hand corner of some of the boxes. I can add a new list membership, I can add new tasks and new history. Let's start with history. Let's say I just had a conversation with Nick today. So I had an appointment with Nick Carter. It tells me the date that I completed it. Perhaps I did this yesterday and I'm just now getting around to putting it in. I can type notes. And I can set a follow-up task. When I click the Add a Follow-up Task button, it allows me to enter a task for the future to be reminded to follow up with Nick whenever I designate the time. When I click Save, two things occurred. One is my history starts to populate. I now have a date-stamped history record of everything that I've talked to this account about. And I have a list of my future tasks coming up. Let's get a little bit more into the data. One of the things we can do is we can tag these accounts as their customer status, maybe other information about the customer. And then we can use that information to search for the accounts later. Let's say I wanted to find all of my customers that were software companies. I can go to Query, and I'm going to choose a category. First, I want to go to the Custom Fields. Customer status is customer. Now I want to add another parameter because I also want to find not only are they customers, but I want to make sure that they are software companies. When I click search, Nick Carter and Troy Hannah show up, the two contacts in the account that I just was working with. On the right, we have a few items. The first one is record a history entry. This does the same thing that we saw from the account view. I can record a historic entry that I had an appointment or that I called or did any other activity with this contact, Troy Hannah, and I can describe what took place and add a follow-up task. I can also open that account detail in another window. So now I'm back viewing the account, or I can view the account in the same window. Last but not least, I can find a list of all of the activity that I should be doing or have done by going to the Activity tabs on the top of the browser. Here I see a list of upcoming tasks, but I can change this to History and see a historic report of what I've done. I can change to a different user and see what maybe Troy has done or other people in my account has done, and I can change the date range. Most often, by clicking on Activity, we find an upcoming task list, and this is where salespeople can stay productive, knowing what their next calls need to be, and making sure to complete those in a timely manner. If you have any other questions, email us at support@address2.com, and we'd be glad to help you out.